And this is Ross Jardine with Wake Up Now. Today I want to share with you a simple approach that you can use to share the power of Wake Up Now Finance. You know, one of the biggest benefits of being a part of Wake Up Now is using the tools and services to get out of debt fast. You know, since most people have debt, this is almost a universal benefit for all new members of Wake Up Now. You know, two of the most valuable things that you possess outside of your family is your time and your money. It's easy to show people how they can get out of debt really fast and how that will help them get more of both of those things. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a simple little worksheet that I put together, and what I'm just going to do is walk you through a little details on this, and this is how I could present this to someone else. And if you'd like to share this with somebody, you're certainly welcome to do that, and we can put this in a format that you can use. Well, let's see. There's this person's debts. They have a Visa card with $10,000 balance, 18.7% interest, $197 monthly payment. They're going to pay $9,945 in interest if they do it the credit card's way, and that's going to be 102 payments that they'll have to make before that debt's retired. Now, quickly going through the other ones, a MasterCard with $6,500 of balance and a $129 payment, a car loan with an $18,000 balance and a $355 payment, another car loan with a $2,800 balance and a $250 payment, a student loan with $25,000, not uncommon in today's with the cost of education, and a $287 payment. And then finally, everybody's biggest expense, their mortgage, in this example, a $200,000 mortgage with an $1,100 monthly payment. Now, what I want to do is I want to show people the power of using Wake Up Now's tools to get them more time and money, the two most valuable things they possess. Let's first look at an example where they use just the income that they currently have. Now, we're obviously assuming that they're paying their bills, that they're able to meet this obligation. But if they just use the process that Wake Up Now Finance automatically creates for them to pay these debts off in the most efficient way to get to zero debt as fast as possible, look what happens. Down here, this first line just simply shows the total debts, $262,000, total payments, $2,318 a month. And you can see that if they stay on the track they're on, this is where it gets really exciting. If they do nothing when you're talking to them, if they do nothing and just stick with the plan, they're going to pay $163,000 of interest before those debts are retired. That's money that'll pass through their hands that they had to work hard and earn that they will not get to keep. And it's going to take them 306 months, almost 30 years, before they'll be out of debt. Now, using just their current income and the power of Wake Up Now Finance to help them organize and prioritize their debts, look what happens. The same debt, the same payment, but now the cost of the interest in paying it off will be $93,000, and the number of payments or the number of months is only 154. They've cut that almost in half, and that's created a savings of almost $70,000 in interest, money now that will pass through their hands that they get to keep. And in terms of time, 152 months payments left, and that equates to 12.7 years, getting out of debt 12.7 years faster than if they did nothing. Now, here's what I like to do is, that's the picture to show the benefit and the power of the tool. But I want to create some excitement around being involved with us, more than just using the tools, being involved in taking this message, this mission, if you will, of helping others get out of debt. So let's make one little twist to this. On this one, I want you to see that we've just added $100. What if they could use the Wake Up Now services to save $100 on the things they're already spending money on? Things like their cell phone bill, the discounts at the grocery store, and going to the movies, and not to mention the extra discounts that come back to them in form of tax savings by using the tax bot. But anyway, let's just say it's $100. I think that's a realistic number, and most likely they could do a lot better than that. Now let's look at how the picture changes. By just using that extra $100 to accelerate the process of paying down their debt created by Wake Up Now Finance, they're going to save $77,000 in interest and get out of debt 161 payments sooner, or 161 months sooner. That's 13.4 years. Now, what if they could make an extra $500 a month by sharing this powerful tool and opportunity with others on top of the $100 that they're saving on their own expenses? Now, let's look at the numbers. So there's $600, $100 in savings, and $500 in income from being involved with Wake Up Now. Now they're going to save $99,000 in interest and be out of debt 194 months faster. That's 16.2 years. Now, less than half the time, just with an extra $600 a month. Again, by being involved in Wake Up Now, using the services and earning extra income. Now, what if they just went crazy and they got very successful, really lit a fire and got their business building, and they were able to save and earn a combined $2,000 extra a month than what they're currently doing? Now let's look at what happens. Now they're going to save over $125,000 in interest that they would have paid had they done nothing, and they'll be out of debt 236 months sooner, which equates to almost 20 years. So from 30 years to 20 years, they've cut the amount of time simply by making and saving an additional $2,000 a month, something that's very possible and people are doing right now. Now, let's translate that back to Wake Up Now Finance, and let me kind of put that in perspective with another picture. Here's an example taken directly from the Wake Up Now Finance tool. Some of you may have never even seen this because you're new or you just haven't taken the time to set it up. Well, I hope this will motivate you to do it, because there's a powerful thing that you'll gain from this, and that's a story that you can share with others. Now, here's a very similar situation, not the exact one I just shared with you, but $232,000 of total debt. If they do nothing, they're out of debt in June 2038, 25 years into the future. But if they follow the plan outlined for them automatically, using just their current income with Wake Up Now Finance, they'll be out of debt again in 2029. That's 9.4 years faster and an interest savings of $52,000. Now, that's not, to me, that's only the 50-yard line. What does it take to get across the goal line? What can that money, that savings, turn into? Well, here's the power of, I think, on a long-term perspective, what this can do. If that money was put to work, earning 8%, the money that they're no longer paying to make their debt payments, that same amount of money, earning just 8%, and they continue to save it, would grow to $293,000 by the time they would just be getting out of debt. Isn't that amazing? So instead of just being that orange line showing just where they're getting out of debt, now we've literally taken it way up from there, not just reaching zero, but now we've been able to grow our money by using the savings from getting out of debt sooner to build a nest egg, if you will, of nearly $300,000. Well, what if it was, again, $200? If we could save $200, this example, on the stuff we already buy, and use that extra money to accelerate our payoff of debt, we'd be out of debt 11.7 years faster and save $72,000 in interest. Again, this is taken right from Wake Up Now Finance. This is what you and all the people you introduce this powerful program and opportunity to can see with their own numbers anytime they want. It's powerful when you see that, because it motivates you to want to do more, because you want that blue line to go even faster to get to zero debt so you can start building. Now, what if I put that money to work that I was saving from the time I got debt-free in 2026? At 8%, that money could grow to almost $400,000. What if I could save and make $2,000 a month? That last example I showed you in the previous setup, through a combination of using the services and earning money as a Wake Up Now distributor. And I got out of debt again in May of 2019. That's 19 years faster and $126,000 of saved interest that now can go into your pocket. Put that money to work, and it could grow to nearly $1 million by the time you would just be getting out of debt if you did nothing. I think that's a powerful way to show what I believe is one of the biggest benefits of getting involved with Wake Up Now. And you, by using these very same examples, can share that with the people you introduce the opportunity to. You know, I believe it'll take most of you a lot longer, several years at least, for you to get out of debt yourself. But you can have a compelling success story to share with anybody you're introducing the Wake Up Now opportunity to almost immediately. Literally the first day that you set up your personal information in Wake Up Now Finance. There's no more powerful way to share the Wake Up Now opportunity than to share your personal success story. You can have a powerful success story of Wake Up Now even before you earn a dime as an IBO. I think that's one of the most amazing things. You need to be able to, we can't go out and say we're making $10,000 or $20,000 our first day in the business, but we can sure show somebody that we could save tens of thousands of dollars in interest by using the tools and services ourselves. And you'll know those exact numbers for you the very first day you set things up. I don't know if that doesn't motivate you and want to set these things up. I'm disappointed, obviously, but I think you're missing out on a great opportunity. So start using Wake Up Now Finance today so you can create your own personal success story to share with others. I promise it'll be one of the most powerful things to help you build your business. You're going to be amazed at how easy it is to share your story and how well it works to build your business. So I hope that helps you. Good luck in all your business. I hope you get out of debt fast and that story helps you build a great business to accelerate that entire process. This is Ross Jardine. Thanks for joining me, and good luck with all your financial decisions.